What's up YouTube, Balder here, and I am playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 10. This is kind of an old game. It came out in 2006, but when it did, the simulator community really liked it, and it is actually one of the most popular ones. And right now we are in a Boeing 737, a 737-800, which is a newer one, and you can tell that the cockpits are quite a bit more advanced than the cockpits that you saw in the F-15, the MiG-29, or the Su-25. The reason being for that is because it is a newer plane, and this is what you call a glass cockpit. Everything is all digital and goes into that, and let's say you lose power, then we have backup systems here. So basically, this is a newer plane, and it is quite good, and what we're going to do is that we are going to do a flight. Now understand that this is a 32-bit game, and I'm running on a 64-bit operating system. What that generally means is that I may have to save because of crashing and things like that, so this may be a two-parter, but we're going to be flying from San Diego International Airport, also known as Lindbergh Field, all the way to Salt Lake International Airport in Utah. And I'm just going to change a few things here. Let's just get rid of that. So yeah, this is going to be, well, either you're going to like it or not. I'm not going to lie, combat flight simulators are a little bit more interesting, but we're going to do this anyway. So forget those guys. And yeah, whatever, let's get our ATIS. For those of you who don't know what ATIS is, ATIS stands for Automated Traffic Information Service. It gives you all the weather information and any kind of notices to airmen that may be needed. Just a little bit of information. So now that I got my information, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to close the door. And get the jet bridge away. Now what do we need to do is that we need to request what is called an IFR.
Boeing November 737 Tango, ready to copy IFR America to Salt Lake. Boeing November 737 Tango is cleared to Salt Lake Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 7,000. Departure frequency is 127.3, squawk 0673. Boeing November 737 Tango, cleared at Salt Lake Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 7,000. Departure on 127.3, squawk 0673. Boeing 37 Tango, feedback correct. Contact ground on 123.9.
I have no idea why my engine's turned on all of a sudden. I think I pushed the wrong button. So I'm just going to go ahead.
San Diego ground, Boeing November 737 Tango with Yankee, ready to taxi IFR. Boeing November 737 Tango, taxi to and hold short of runway 287 using taxiway Bravo 1. Contact tower on 118.3 when ready.
Alright, so sounds good to me.
Short runway 27 via taxiway Bravo 1. Boeing 37 Tango.
So I'm going to see if I can do this by the book. It's been a while since I've flown this. Parking brake, pushback. Yeah, let's start with that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and push the plane back to Let's increase the speed quite a bit. One thing that's very interesting about this game is that there are a ton of mods, mostly airplanes, but there's also scenery mods, there's also mods that change the game, things like that. This is the last official flight simulator that came out through Microsoft.
Using taxiway Bravo, Bravo 1, contact tower on 118.3 when ready.
And what happened?
Short runway 27.
Honestly, that's a little loud, so I'm going to change the settings. There we go. Anyway, this was developed by a Microsoft team called ACES. ACES. And what happened is that this came out in 2006, and they were planning on coming up with other flight simulators. However, in 2008, the markets tanked, and Microsoft had to remove ACES. And as a result, you know, there were no other flight simulators after that. And I'm not going to auto-start. I'm going to do it by this. Please don't tell me I'm running out of memory already. Oh, there we go. Alright. So, starting left engine. They did, however, try to make a Microsoft Flight, but it was a piece of shit. Don't ever get that game. That is available for free on Steam, and even then, I feel like Microsoft owes me money for playing that piece of garbage. They really do need to bring back ACES, but as a result of them not bringing back ACES, there have been tons of mods to modernize it. There have been tons of companies that sell upgrades to Flight Simulator 10, so... And not only that, but they still make it, and they still have it on the shelf, so you can go ahead and buy this game. I think it's 20 bucks on whatever software store you want to go to. So it's not a bad thing, so let's go ahead. De-ice is good, flight controls. I'm going to do a little bit of cheating. Aileron's good, elevator's good, rudder is good. Seems good to me. I'm going to change that to the tail. Autopilot is set. Well, almost set. I'm going to turn on the flight director. I'm going to... This is why you have co-pilots. There's a ton of shit you need to know. And I am not a commercial airline pilot. So the auto brake is going to go to RTO. Just because avionics is already on. The trim, gonna set it to takeoff. I need this arrow to go into the green zone. That means it's set. And the beacon light is on. So with that, I am going to taxi. Now while I'm taxiing, I'm going to do several things. First off, I'm going to slow the plane down. I am going a little bit fast. So right there. I'm also going to apply the flaps. Flaps are a necessity for takeoff. And you're wondering why you can't see any of the flaps, it's because it's on a low setting. What the fuck is going on here? Alright, now that guy's taxiing into position, I'm going to taxi into what is called the hold short line on the taxiway. It's that line that I'm not allowed to pass. At least not until I have clearance from tower. so I'm holding short. Alright, now we are allowed to taxi into position, so I get my strobe lights on and my landing lights on. There we go. And now I can get the ball started. So we're going to increase the thrust a little bit, then gently increase it in increments. Till you want about... that's good. Probably a little bit too much. Yeah, a little too much. But either way, we're going ahead and taking off. Alright, rotate. Ah, there we go. Now we're in the air. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Trouble with that. Alright, so we're in the middle marker. I'm going to reduce the flaps a little bit. Go to speed. 200 knots is usually what you want in Class B airspace unless otherwise specified. So we're going to contact SoCal. Got my GPS. So, yes, finally now we're going somewhere. That. Actually losing altitude. But I do believe we're out of the airspace, so I'm going to increase to 250 knots. Contact SoCal. There we go. Now I think would be a good time to go ahead and use autopilot. There we go. Is that Montgomery? No, it can't be. It must be Miramar. Or is that Miramar? I'm not... Yeah, that has to be Miramar. I think that's Montgomery. I'm not exactly sure. Alright, let's go to flight level 190. That's 19,000. So now we're officially going into the dreaded North County. No offense to anyone who lives there. I believe that's... I'm not exactly sure. So let's see, that's the airport we took off from. I want to say that's Del Mar. I want to believe that's going into North County. That's probably Vista. That up north. I want to say what I'm looking at right now is either Fallbrook or Camp Pendleton. Probably Fallbrook. Or maybe actually could be Vista's airport, I'm not sure. Whatever. That's away from us. We're gonna be heading into the desert. So we just got past 10,000 feet above sea level. What that means is that we need to turn the landing lights off, or we don't have to, but I believe that's standard operating procedure, and we can go as fast as we want. So I'm going to speed things up by doing 315 knots. That way we can really get the ball rolling. Right. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 10. I think I'll do another video of me landing in Salt Lake. But this is the gist of it. It is a flight simulator that is fairly realistic, and the graphics were really good during 2006. In fact, they're pretty good right now. I mean, sure, they're not perfect, but you had things like light glare, reflection, all that other fun stuff. And there are always mods to keep it up to date. It has a very strong fan base, it has a very strong community, and any issue that you might have would be generally resolved through, well, modding and looking into the community. If this is interesting, then you know, you go ahead and pick it up. I believe it's $20, and if you know, are a fan of his stuff, it's definitely really good. This is kind of a more simplistic one. This is there's also X-Plane 10, but that thing is kind of odd in a way and not very user-friendly. Flight Simulator, however, is. There is kind of a steep learning curve, but it's nowhere near as steep as the DCS 810. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. Like and favorite this. And if you like my videos, go ahead and subscribe. There's plenty more to come. Have a nice day.